Hi, my name is Harmony Richardson. I am 14 years old and a 9th grader in Pine Ridge High School. I belong to the marching band and I am also an officer for the Pine Ridge FFA chapter as chaplain. I have also been in the 4-H Adventures for 11 years, where I'm secretary this year, as well as being secretary for the Volusia 4-H County Council. As you can see, I'm showing under FFA this year. Moving on, today I will be sharing my knowledge on how to evaluate body conditioning with a comparison of heifers and market steers. To begin with, feed is a very important portion when it comes to cattle. Heifers and steers have completely different diets. As you can see, this is the feed I feed my steers, and this is the feed I feed my heifers. This particular heifer feed was created by my 4-H friend's father, as he works directly with Mr. Lusner at Lusner Feed Mills. First up, we have crude protein at 13%. Now, this specific amount of protein I would feed to my youth heifers because they need the protein to grow up big and strong. The heifers I have right now are almost fully grown, so I have them on a 10% crude protein. As for the steer, I have him on a 12% crude protein because he needs to be growing all year round. Next, we have crude fat, which is at 5% because the heifers need it to maintain healthy weight. As the steers have a crude fat at 3%, we don't want them gaining as much fat as we do muscle, but towards the end we will increase their crude fat percentage so that towards the end of the project to get that finishing look, which I will further discuss in the presentation. Next up, we have crude fiber. As the heifers is at 14% and the steers is at 6%, that is a huge difference. What is crude fiber, you may ask? Well, crude fiber increases energy in the cattle and helps their digestive system. Why heifers have a 14% in their crude fiber is because as they are the gender of the cattle that carries the calves, they need all that energy to carry the calves throughout all 9 to 10 months, as well as giving birth and nursing them consistently in their lifetime. As steers, they only need a 6% crude fiber because we do not want their energy increase to lose all that weight that we had just put on them. If you look here, this is the feed I feed my steers. There is a lot more corn and oats in it. And as you can see, the substance is not as sticky and it's more loose. In the heifer feed, you can see there's a lot of these fibery looking pieces, as they are crude fiber, known as cottonseed hulls. And they are what increases the energy in the heifers and helps digest it. And you can see there's not as many corn pieces in heifer's food, and it's a more stickier, tighter substance. Next, another very important piece of a cattle's diet is hay. This hay is called coastal hay, which I feed for my cattle. It's what helps their digestive system run smoothly and gets rid of waste easier. Just imagine going down a back road and seeing a field full of 100 head of cattle. What are they doing? Eating hay, eating grass. They need that for their digestive system. Along another part of any living thing's diet that they really need is water. Make sure that a cattle's water is always clean, full, and cold, as cattle do not do very well in heated scenarios. Now that I have gone over the food portion, which is of cattle, which is very important, we will now be going over the body conditioning of a heifer. This is my first heifer. She is a Brahman Angus, and as you can see, she takes the Brahman as a more dominant trait, as she has the hump that is commonly seen. She is also going to be 2 years old in the spring. This is my second heifer. She is a Hereford Brahma. As you can see, she takes the Hereford trait more dominantly, as she is stouter and has the color variations. Now, back to what we were talking about, how the heifer is the leader of cattle that carries the calves. You can see how she has a wider set of ribs as she does a wider set of hips. If you go to my first heifer, you can also see she has a wider set of ribs as she does hips that stick out a little. Now, the reason for that is so that the heifer can comfortably carry that baby for 9 to 10 months. And the reason for the hips is so that she can push it out much easier. Another important part of the heifer is that they have strong, sturdy, and maintained legs. As you can see, she does. Another important thing about a heifer is if you look at her neck, it goes down, blends right into her breast, and has more of that feminine shaped look to her. And as well as her shoulders, you want them to be slimmer. As a steer, you'd like them to be thicker. You can tell her shoulders are much smaller than the rest of her body. If you go to the first heifer, you can also see that her neck blends right into her brisket, and it looks very feminine, as her shoulders are as well, which don't go over the rest of her. Going to the hindquarters of the heifer, you will see how you can see her hip bones from the back, which is a very good sign. As well as her hindquarters being round and coming into a shape like this. As steers, you like them to be bulked up, which gives them that really feminine look. As so does the first one, seeing the hips from the back in that shape blending right into the legs, making that feminine look. Now that we've discussed the key points of the body conditioning of a heifer, we will now move on to the body conditioning of a steer. This is my 1-year-old steer, which I have shown last November at the Volusia County Fair as a prospect. As of next November, I will be showing him as a market steer and auctioning him off. Moving on, he is a Simmental Angus cross, and the key points of a steer, going back to what we were talking about earlier, how that finished look at the end of a steer project is very important at the end of the project. Where you would see that to know that if they are finished off is you would see 2 pockets of fat on each side of their tailbone, as so you would in their flank area and right behind the shoulder blade right here, or point of elbow. Going to the hindquarters of the steer, as you can see, it does not have that shape like the heifers. It bulks out right here and here, up top and here, where they will gain more and more muscle throughout the project. Also, as you can see for the steer, he has a more masculine look to him, as his shoulders are the size of the heifers now, and if his are already this big at his age, they will get much bigger, which is good for steers. Also, if you look over top of him, you can see his hips are much closer and smaller than the heifers, and his ribs, because obviously steers do not carry calves at all. And if you come to the gut area, or the stomach, he's more fuller and broader, and all in all, he's more masculine than the heifers. Now that I have went over the body conditioning of the cattle, we will now be going over the maintenance for that, because I believe it is a very big part in maintaining a healthy and happy cow. So first, this is the soap I use for my cows, which keeps all dirt and prevents infections on them. And this soap is called whitening shampoo. It is for the white parts on a cow. When they turn yellowish or dirty color, I put some of it on it, let it sit, and then rinse it off after about 10 minutes, and makes it all white again. This is what we call a foamer. You put soap in this area as you attach the hose here and your hose to this attachment, and you spray the soap solution on your cow. Then you take this scrub brush and you scrub all the soap into the cow skin. Then rinse off. This brush is called a soft brush, mostly used on horses, but I use them for my cows. I use it around their sensitive parts, such as udders, their anus, or their face. This one is a hard brush, which I use for the rest of their body to get just extra dirt off. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this presentation really helped you on what you were looking to learn. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you at fair.